And we'll see. We'll show you this picture.
Yes.
My son, he's like 22 years old. He's never been to school. Not school. He's never used a camera. Had a motorcycle accident. Hurt his leg and his feet and his hands. He's sitting on his bed, kind of depressed because he can't play his guitar. And his wife said, my wife says, went to her room, got a camera and says, Isaac, you take this camera and go see what you can do. Because your mom and dad are pretty good at this. Your brother Aaron's really good. And your sister Rebecca is. Just see what you can do. In 1 week, one of his pictures is on Interstate 5 billboard, the one that changes all the time, of the Connaught, resort. He now is world known. He has this picture you're going to see right now. That was on Channel 5 News. One of his friends calls him up while he's working and says, "Isaac, what are your pictures on Channel 5 right now?" One of the editors or artists for Goodyear Tire in Germany calls him up and asks him, "Isaac, how much do you want for one of your pictures? I want to use one of our advertisements for a year." He had no idea what to charge, so he calls this woman we know in California is really good. She says, "Ask $5,000." He gave him $4,700 to use a picture for a year. He goes to a high school prom, and one night he makes $4,700 taking pictures of kids. He's doing all these realtors' houses. He gets $250. The guy is making an incredible living, having total fun, and he never went to school. I'm just telling you, and this is, what I'm seeing is when you have a gift, he has this eye. It's just amazing. And there's a guy in town here who's really a good artist. Ross Hamilton. He's blind now. But he went to see him and talk to him. Ross made an interesting statement. He says, artists see things different than other people. Or musicians see things different than other people. Because you're a musician, you see things different. And he has this eye that's just, well, come look at this picture. It's just amazing.
Oh, wow.
This is where you live.
No. You can't make stuff up like that.
Look at the details. The stuff he has in that.
Do you have lighting?
Yeah, right behind you. There's 2 lights on the wall there. No, the other.
Wow. Oh, goodness.
Now, Aaron? See Aaron over there with Severin?
That's him?
Yeah. Look at that picture, Isaac. With Severin.
Cool.
Look behind you at that picture of the Milky Way.
Oh, wow.
Where was this taken?
That's in Eastern Washington someplace. I'm not sure exactly. It's someplace in Eastern Washington. I mean, look at, you've got the Milky Way.
Yes.
All of this, I mean, it's just, the stuff.
Everything.
The stuff he's done is just like, whoa.
That's amazing.
That's crazy. He's on a trestle or something?
Yeah. And look at how high it is. Look down below.
Where is that?
So it's over here. It's a place now that a lot of people go to. But Isaac found it, and you will see pictures over here. He's used it.
Wow. Goodness, he's incredible. My dad was a photographer.
Again, it's just this eye. This was on Channel 5. This is on television. They're just blown away.
How does it get the color in the darkness?
What's that?
How does it get the color in the darkness?
It's time lapse. He has the lens open for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my older son with his wife.
Oh, that looks.
Oh, is that on metal?
Yeah. Isn't that a nice material?
I've never seen that technique.
There's my neighbor, his daughter just graduated from medical school, and he bought this as a gift for his daughter's graduation.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way that makes the colors work is really unique.
Yeah, it's really nice.
This feels really Swiss, you know. I've been to Switzerland, and this is what it feels like, right?
Well, a lot of this furniture was in my parents' house growing up, you know. So, and my wife we just had that real close. That's an amazing couch, you know.
Yeah.
And this chair my grandmother rocked me in. Look at you know, ball and cloth.
Yes.
And it's just, you know, I love the old days. They made things with integrity. They're made to last,
Right.
you know. And this is, you know, hundreds of years old, but it's still great. It's a comfortable chair. You know?
Right.
Your home is as inspiring as your garden.
Hand built. Paul built this.
Yeah?
That's a beautiful chair.
Yeah, it's a comfortable chair. Like I say, my grandmother rocked it was when I was a kid, so it's got some history.
How long did it take to build it?
Well, I built the log house when I first came here. We got here in June, and I moved in December. We were really hustling, you know.
Yeah.
And then 9 years later, we built the addition because I had more kids and needed more space.
Wow, you built very fast.
I have a stove like this. If you know anybody who wants a wood stove, this is a Vermont cast iron. And I have one. I tried to fix them to see the front door warped, and I bought one, but they didn't line up because it's cast iron. And so I have a stove I want to give away because it's a nice stove. But if you know, you can have it. This is an amazing stove. It has a thermostat. It's thermostat controlled. Let me show you the details of this. The people who made this were geniuses. It top loads. See, most stoves you load from the side or the front, and stuff falls out. This one here top loads. You just keep putting wood in, and no smoke happens. This material here is the same cast iron you cook with, so you can cook on it. These are such nice features, like if you come home and you got wet gloves or socks, you just hang out here and they dry. I have them all over the place. Here's a thermostat that works just like your car. It's got a spring attached to that door, and when it gets hot, it closes. When it gets cold, it expands and opens. And the door opens and closes all day long, maintaining perfect temperature. It's just like they were thoughtful. And this is 36 years old. Been heating my house for 36 years. Looks totally great.
Yeah.
And they're just well-made stoves.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, have one out. You can have it.
I will take it. I mean, not today, but I will
Yeah,
take
it's
it.
right back in my pump house, and it's yours.
Thank you very much.
I would love to give to someone like you.
I would love to put it, when we finally get a house, to put it
Yeah,
in
you know,
there.
wood heat. Everybody listen to me. This again, it's so amazing how disconnected we are in life because of our schooling. You notice when you stand in the sunshine, the heat from the sun goes through your tissue into your bones, and it goes right into you. It's thermal. The only other heat that does that is wood. You notice that when you go into a wood heated house, you have the same feeling like, oh, you're instantly warmed.
Yeah.
Propane, natural gas, electricity does not do that. Only wood heat. You know what God told me was cool? There's a reason. The trees take in photosynthesis from the sun, they store it in their cells, and when it's burned, they give it back. It's the same heat. And the beauty of wood is renewable. Nothing else is. And again, when you start coming into these amazing ideas of God, it's just like, wow, how thoughtful. And it's hilarious when these women come in here for their prenatals, so they walk in, oh, this feels so good, they're laying on the floor here, because it's just, there's no heat like wood. It's the best. And this heats the whole house, man. It's awesome.
And I love your little door that you built.
Yeah, this was after the fact. My first stove over there, I had wood in the stove on the porch, and that's an irritant. This is so convenient. Look at this. It's all right there. And I can load it from the outside. And there's no mess in the house. It's like,
Genius, right?
it just takes doing it wrong, you know, and thinking like, there's got to be a better way. They were Habitat for Humanity, and they've covered all the wood chips. They're growing all this food. They've got chickens. They've got goats. They've got all these homeless people coming out, working, getting well. I'm telling you, man, this is in the center of Dallas. It's just huge. It's just amazing, you know, what's going on, you know. And I got this call from this lady from New Zealand. She's in quite a large group of organic farmers, and they while all this stuff together, they had a contest, and her tomatoes won first prize. And so they're asking, what are you doing? What are you fertilizing? I says, all I did was put wood chips around my tomato plants. And they don't believe her.
Right.
You know, it says, you had, no, I just put wood chips, you know, and she won first prize. It's just like, it's just,
When is it going to hit the mainstream media?
well, here's my sense, is that we have an adversary,
Yes, I have.
and he controls the mainstream media.
Mm.
If this ever got out there and the world took it over,
Mm.
Monsanto would be bankrupt.
Yes.
And all these, I'm
The
serious.
whole thing will
If
crash.
everyone's growing their own food,
Yeah.
all this wrong stuff that's happening would have no market.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely, you know, some opposition
Mm.
to this getting out there, you know, kind of a thing. But I'm realizing that God's behind it, he's bigger, and it's doing quite well,
Yeah.
you know. And see, people who are open, they're getting it, and they're getting well. And these people who aren't,
Mm.
well, so
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
You know, let them live in their garbage, you know, kind of a thing. So it's just, you know, and again, it's just what I think is cool about God is that he's brought it to the light. He's brought it out, made it worldwide acceptable, you know, available. And people who are hearing are getting it.
Mm.
And so it's just really, really awesome. Wonderful. You know, I mean, there's people having me on radio programs. There's a guy setting up a conference call where people call every week. We call, and it's just, I mean, just constant. Like Dr. McCullough had me on.
Yes,
You know,
I was
and
read
it's
that.
like, you know, it's just like, you know, and you know, it's hilarious for my kids. You know, they know who I am. And I'm a recluse. I go nowhere. I know no one. I want to be all by myself. And they just bust up laughing. Hey, Dad, I was in Aaron's over in Hawaii. He's on this guy's amazingly beautiful landscape place. I mean, it's gorgeous. And he's noticed he's got wood chips all over.
Yeah.
And he's asking the guy, he's telling the guy, he says, well, my dad does that. And the guy asks him, who's your dad? Paul Gauchi. And he says to Aaron, that is the standard.
Yeah.
Here he is in Hawaii, a total, you play, and you know, they know me, you know, kind of, so he's just like, they're just busting up. Because, you know, I would have never done this. I would have never even imagined anything like this. But, you know. But I always refer to, you know, God's amazing how he says he uses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. I qualify. That's cool.
Ryland's parents, to feed their restaurant, the Be Love Farm, they use Graham Sait's method. Do you know? Have you
I
heard
don't
of
know.
it? Okay. But I think it'd be really good if they could learn about your methods.
Well, again, this is the method that's been happening in nature from day one.
Right.
You know, so it's not a new idea. And it's definitely proven its efficacy. It works.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's not complicated, it's not hard, and it's not, you know, what I love about it, it's not a lot of rules, you know, and it doesn't cost anything. It's all created nature for free, you know, so it's very readily available, you know, and it works, you know.
Well, I'm going to go visit their farm, and then if I think it'd be a good idea for them to come up here and look at yours, I'll tell them
Yeah, they're so welcome.
to do it.
And it'll be a different time of the year and different stuff growing and bigger and I mean I've seen kale as tall as me.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
My neighbor was so hilarious. He just lived the road here, you know, he's driving by, and he's got a garden, you know, he tills it and does all this, you know, and he drives up and down the road, he's watching this kale, he's got kale, and he's watching this, totally, you know, I says, what are you doing? I says, Rick, what am I doing? I'm just planting wood chips. I'm not doing anything. I need water, you know. And he's coming over every day to get it to make, you know, smoothies for himself, you know. And he's just blowing out. He says, well, Rick, all you gotta do is just put wood chips. You live right there. It's not like, you know, a big deal. It's just amazing how, you know, people just, the mind just doesn't think that it can be that easy. You gotta do something, you know.
Now I noticed that the chicken pen was getting pretty full.
It does. It's just scary.
Do you need a couple guys with trucks to take some of that away?
You want? It's a long way.
Oh, it's a long way for me, but I guarantee you that if you tell people it's okay to come get some of it on a certain day.
What's really great, and it's happened twice now, is the families that come up here, and it's so amazing how quick it happens. If I got a guy moving the wheelbarrow, the dad, and I got one of the kids moving the screen and I'm loading it, as fast as he's back with the wheelbarrow is the one full. And it's amazing how quick I can get it out there, but it's just, you know, having two people. It's just, you know, because I got two wheelbarrows. Because it's so light, it's not hard to do, and it's just like, it really goes quickly. It's just a matter of getting the people because you know I can always put a layer out there.
Well, you know I can get the people.
So that
You had people.
but
How many people did you have come out and help
that
you
was,
weed
well, Tom
in a week?
Tom came. You know, one guy flew out from Tennessee, was here for the weekend, and then Tom showed up on Monday with a woman, and another woman came later, and we were done. It was totally awesome. You know, I had weeds in my orchard, but I was growing through my trees. I mean, the place was solid, and just in that weekend and that Monday, we had it all done. This is what people showing. It was really cool. The guy from Tennessee was really an incredible experience for him because he had just bought a farm in Tennessee, and he was really very, very frustrated with how hard and compacted his ground was, and how am I going to farm this? And when he was on his knees out here pulling these weeds, it totally woke him up to the reality, like, I can change my farm. I mean, it was just, he's on his knees, man. This stuff's just pulling out so easy. These huge root systems, the smell of this incredible minerals. And it was just like this revelation, like, man, I can do this. So it was really, really cool.
Is there a wrong way to do this?
The only wrong way is if you till it in. And people tend to do that. And I tell you, you see, when you here's the thing. Here's the thing that's so criminal about tilling. When you think about it. You see, in the soils, God has thousands of living organisms that are all living there. You see, worms are the biggest. But there's all kinds of bacteria and fungal mycelium. All these mycelium, for instance, is a fungus, and it will travel for miles across areas. And so when plant roots connect to that mycelium, they have access to all those minerals and nutrients that spread out for miles. And then you have all these little critters, all these little fungi and stuff that all live there. And when you till the soil, it's like running a hurricane or earthquake through the environment. It totally disrupts, disturbs, and destroys all those living organisms. And now you end up with sterile soil. I'm telling you, it's criminal. We have no idea what we're doing, you know? And see, this is the mainstream mentality, you know? And see, when you put that covering on top, you're just supporting everything below. You're just giving them more food. And so you just increase this amazing life force that's going on, you know, kind of thing. And the whole idea of disturbance, you know, and turning and messing and disrupting all that life form is utterly criminal from my perspective, you know, kind of thing. And we don't get it. We keep thinking this is what we have to do. And the irony of tilling, I've watched them, they've done these film, you know, I got this letter from these, I should show it to you, it's an amazing letter from these people in UK. They came with these 5 tractors and did this field, and all this dust, all this dirt just starts blowing away, you know, kind of thing, you know. And it's just, everything's telling you this is criminal. You're destroying the earth, you know. And then what happens immediately after they till? The whole place is covered with weeds. And why? You see, nature that's connected to the Creator is trying to reconstruct a covering. They know, nature knows this ground is vulnerable, so it immediately covers it with weeds to maintain a covering.
But if you start with a dead area, which is very hard, wouldn't it be good to till it up and soften it, and then?
If you put the wood chips down, it'll get soft.
Okay.
He can tell you, there was a guy here that came from Idaho, and I took him back to where I took you, and I showed him all my hard pan. He went into my herb garden in the strawberries, and he got on his knees and he starts doing this. He's down to his elbow in this, and he says, at the bottom of my hand right now it's so soft. And the guy was in shock because he saw what it was. So what I'm experiencing, what I'm seeing is that if you put the cover, everything below changes. You see, there's no hard pan, no difficult ground in nature. Are you hearing me? It only happens when you take the skin off the earth and expose it. And if you just repent and put the skin back, it all goes back to total, perfect, soft, viable soil. And because it's so simple, with our natural minds and our pride, we think, I got to do something. I can make it better. I can help it. I can till it. And it's so sad because, you know, people with good intent, I always tell people, I can't believe how hard I used to work to fail. I really worked hard. I mean, I hauled truckloads of stuff, I tilled it in. And see, when you till stuff into the ground, you know they talk about how it ties up nitrogen to make your soil acidic? When you till wood chips into the ground has to digest it. And to digest it, it takes up all the nitrogen to consume all the stuff. When you lay it on top of the ground, everything in the ground's in place, nothing's having to be challenged, and all that compost tea on the top is coming into the soil and constantly building it up and supporting it. So you have this constant, like, compounding interest happening on the ground. This is what's so amazing to me. Like, I was eating broccoli this summer, and I told my wife, I never had broccoli like this. And I realized that I've been growing this broccoli for 10 years. It's just never tasted this good before. Because every year, because more is going into the soil, my plants are better tasting and bigger because compounding interest. Where today, these poor farmers are spending more and more every year to produce less and less. It doesn't work, you know.
Have you still not been able to convert your neighbors?
Well, if you saw down the road here, he just brought in a big load of wood chips.
Okay.
And he's making raised beds.
So you're one.
And if you go down further, you'll see all my neighbors' fruit trees have wood chips around them.
Oh, really?
And but he still has people are coming in slowly.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how our training.
Yeah.
It's a hard time to shift. I've done this my whole life. This is, and for me, I was desperate. I didn't have water, so I had no option. I had to get an answer, and so it was easy for me to shift because I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't water my trees, so for me it was like I was up against the wall. So I got onto it real quick. It's amazing how it's hard to break old habits.
All the people, all scientists are the same, really, in all disciplines. It's all the same.
Yeah. It's incredible, these scientists that come here, though. There's one, she's a physicist, and they came out, and they were all testing my soil, and those guys were just amazed at what they were experiencing. They were just utterly blown away. This one guy from China, man, just couldn't believe it. He said, I don't like vegetables. I don't like vegetables, man, but everything I ate here was good. This is, well, what you had before wasn't vegetables. It was some chemically produced, facsimile that wasn't good.
Virtual vegetable.
Yeah. That's what I so enjoy. I mean, so often you've seen this. People say, I don't like asparagus. I've had people eat raw beets here that don't like beets. They're telling me they taste like fruit. That are just like over. It happens all the time. It's just so fun. Like the people are getting revelation. Like food is supposed to be good. It was made that way, and the stuff you're getting isn't how it was made.
I've only had bitter kale once, and it was after your kale and my kale, and it shocked me because I was like, whoa, I don't think I got the right plant. That can't be kale. That doesn't taste right.
Yeah.
And it was something I picked up at a nursery.
Yeah, it's so fun having the real.
Do you know of any farms in Southern California that are doing this?
I know in Central California there's an Adventist school. This was so amazing. I just love it. They had just had a board meeting because they wanted to start teaching the kids. They had 5 acres on the school grounds, and they wanted to start teaching the children in the curriculum how to grow food because they think it's important. And so they had this board meeting. They had figured about buying all this tractors and everything they would need to create a garden space. And then someone saw the film, and they all of a sudden realized all we need is rakes. And I'm telling you, it's just
Budget approved.
Phenomenal, man, how the effects they're having. And there's another Adventist school up in Maine. I tell you, I love this company, Fedco, so cool. Because they're having a hard time financing. The cost of education is just so high, and the tuition's not covering, so they're all growing produce in CSA markets to get return. And so they went to Fedco to get seed, and Fedco gave them no charge all this seed. It was just so cool. So there's small groups, starting to get this, and really. And I had the most interesting is this piano tuner who lives in Ohio, who does a lot of piano tuning for Amish people, who don't have computers, who don't watch TV, who don't have phones. And so he's always calling me because he has questions, and he's sharing with what he's seen. And so this one Amish farmer, he's on a slope, and he covered his whole farm with wood chips. And in the spring, he's growing all this amazing produce. And they had this huge flood in the area. And all his neighbors, all the farmers, all their produce totally washed out and was gone, but nothing moved on his farm. Nothing moved. And I'm telling you, he's getting amazing attention.
Yes.
Awesome. Because wood chips don't move in the rain. It was just, nothing moved. And it was just like, whoa, everybody lost everything.
Yeah.
But his was all in place, all in the wood chips. It was powerful. It was
It will be exponential.
yeah.
So
Well, that's the beauty of it. See, my pasture there is all the overflow.
Mm.
So I tell people, you're on slopes, that's an advantage. Put the wood chips up high, and then down below,
Yeah.
everything's covered because gravity works.
Mm.
So you get this like extended benefit without doing any work. It's just
I have a good book for you, and it was a German who did exactly the same thing in the 30s.
wow.
So I thought you'd like it.
Yeah, and it was just like, Ruth Stout. She lived up in the East Coast, and she wrote several books, and she'd been gardening her whole life. And she got old and got arthritis and couldn't bend over, but she didn't want to give up. And so she started covering her whole garden with straw to eliminate weeding. And she starts writing these books because things are growing so well, so much better. I'm not watering, I'm not fertilizing, my plants are so big. And she just started covering the ground. She had straw. So again, it's just when people bump into it, kind of accidentally, they just like, wow, this works so well. There's that, I don't know his name, but he wrote that book, One Straw Revolution. He's a Japanese guy, and he lives in Japan, and he's on a slope, and he's growing rice. Now you gotta grow rice in standing water, and he's on the slope. And so this guy's watching his land every year, every time he harvests all his soil eroding, and he's realizing, like, man, this isn't sustainable. So he says, what can I do to keep my soil? So he starts putting the straw back on the ground to hold the soil. And he's watching that his rice is growing better every year. He's using less water. And in the book you can experience his frustration because he's living in a place where everybody's doing it. And his farm is so much greener, so much more productive. It's not hidden, and nobody's getting it. All the neighbors still tilling. It's just, and he's frustrated. He's just, what can I do? I mean, it's visible. It's working. You can't miss it. And they just won't change.
But for instance, Bill Clinton has a foundation in Africa where he is teaching local farmers how to grow organic and how to keep their profit themselves, and it's done a lot good. If you could get one of those people interested, you could get spread it so much faster.
Yeah. And it's happening. Like some lady was here from South Africa, went back and started sharing it, and it's just because once people do it, it works.
No stopping.
It's no stopping it because it works. And it's simple. It's just a matter of somebody stepping out and doing a demonstration and just saying, hey, copy it.
What is the largest farm that you know of that's doing it anywhere?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I know there was quite a large farm. It was back in Illinois, and it was really interesting. They're in a place that's very low, and in the wintertime they can't use any tractors on their farm because it's all underwater. So this guy started, covering with wood chips quite largely, and he's out there on his farm on his tractor in the winter, and his neighbors are calling out, how did you get out there? Well, I've been putting wood chips on the ground. Yeah, it was just like awesome. So it's just, people are starting to get it, and again, all it takes is like that Amish guy, they're all coming now. They're all getting it because, it demonstrated, man. You didn't lose a thing. You lost it all, so this works. So it's, again, I just think about, if you have somebody do it, pockets of places doing it, it's just going to spread because it's just, it's workable, and the whole world is aware. It's thinking, we're in trouble. What we've been doing is not functional. It's not working. It's got to change. And I love, their perspective because they get it.
Yeah. Is there any chance you could just say hi to him real quick?
Sure.
On video.
If you want, yes.
If you didn't mind.
Oh, I would love to.
Okay.
He's been saying hi to people all day.
Okay, go.
I just want to thank you so much for that video that he shared with me, and I so appreciate what you're doing, and I just want to commend you that you're seeing, you get it. I just want to bless you. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
I'm just going to take a picture of it.
Thanks. Thanks so much.
You're so welcome. Bless you.
He's going to love that.
I like this part. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
That was after
You
the
had a
fact.
picture of the floor.
Okay, I'll try again. Then come a flash.
Flash here. There it is.
Oh,
You got
yeah,
the flash.
thank you.
No
One thing I like about this camera, every time Paul smiles, it automatically takes a photo. So I'll get, huh?
Is it possible?
Thank you very
You're
much.
so welcome. Thank you.
It'll like, you're good. You're good.
I came from nowhere to see you, so I wondered if...
What's that?
I came from nowhere to see you, so I wondered if we could have 10 minutes maybe.
10 minutes?
To talk to you.
Sure.
I'll let you guys be then.